Hey, how's it going? Durable phones are here to stay, and not many of them focus on the specs, so they often just bump durability to make it more appealing. However, does that recipe apply to the Redmi when they're already so affordable to begin with? The Redmi Note 15 Pro Plus 5G, the top-range model for Xiaomi in 2026, that's been a prime choice of mid-range smartphones for many. And now the direction they're taking is durability. Just how much phone do I get out of it? I'm Zen the Geek, thanks for tuning in. Well, looking at the phone itself, it does have a long list of goodies that do make it attractive outside durability, and it does look and feel more premium, though the design language didn't stray too far from the 14 Pro Plus 5G of last year. But rather, it looks like last year's model got a bit of a maturity update and got a lot tougher both inside and outside. I generally like that the durability isn't just marketing fluff because I think that it's actually the real deal. That being said, depending on the color, you get either fiber reinforced plastic or an eco leather back, both resistant materials that I like to see on smartphones these days. I mean, if you're going to spend your days dropping this phone by accident, you'd want materials that doesn't simply shatter and also while weighing less. Also, plastic like this plays nicely with wireless signals, unlike aluminum. However, this material is only one part of the entire Redmi formula, which they call the Redmi Titan structure. That was just the skin of the phone. The real skeleton of the Note 15 Pro Plus 5G is the mid-frame, made of high-strength aluminum alloy, with the plastic that I just mentioned. It's also quite flat now instead of being curved, which means it's a lot harder to damage this screen from, the sides. Pairing it with up to 4 IP ratings up to IP69K, it really was designed to withstand everyday accidents and then some. But it is certified through SGS and it scored 5 stars in premium performance certification for drops, crushes, and bending. Finally, the screen is a Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2, which I still consider to be flagship level. As always, just because the phone is really decorated with all these fancy certifications and test results, it doesn't mean you can just toss it around and expect it to be okay. Durable smartphones are truly made to withstand accidents more than intentional damage, of course. So don't go throwing it around like a party trick, though aesthetic-wise, it may get some bumps and bruises, just like us in real life. You'll be thankful that the motherboard is actually thickened and actually sandwiched between shock-absorbing materials in that respect. That's enough about durability. The Redmi Note 15 Pro Plus 5G still does come with an interesting set of specs that make it a decent 2026 choice if you're looking for a smartphone under 2,000 ringgit. It comes with a respectable Snapdragon 7S Gen 4 with up to 12 plus 512 gigs of memory, UFS 2.2, followed by a 6.83 1.5K AMOLED panel that goes up to 120Hz. Colors are very nicely represented with great blacks that still look good at its peak 3200 nit brightness, though I only managed to push it to 3100 nits, which is still pretty good, especially with HDR. It's also a pretty nice size to hold with your hands and watch videos and even play games. If you're wondering about low brightness and flickering, the Redmi Note 15 Pro Plus 5G does feature high pulse width modulation of up to 3840Hz, and this works and your eyes won't get tired from ghosting and flickering from browsing in low brightness. Battery is pretty big at 6500 milliamps, and it lasts up to 2 days of typical use and 3 days of minimal use, which far exceeds the 14 Pro Plus 5G by a few miles. And I honestly think it's also quite ideal to use it as a hotspot device. Xiaomi also does provide a 100 watts charger, and a full tank from zero takes about 50 minutes, and 80% has been already recovered within the first half hour. That's pretty much still the Xiaomi we know. And performance-wise, with the Snapdragon 7S Gen 4, I guess is reasonably good. It has the Adreno 810 GPU, which means you'll have Vulkan 1.3 support and 256 total shaders to play around with, and a little bit of Snapdragon 8 Elite gaming features such as Adaptive Performance Engine 3.0 and Snapdragon Game Super Resolution. But that being said, to obtain a reasonable 40-60 FPS in games like Zenless Zone Zero and Genshin Impact, it's still a mix of between low to medium settings, while PUBG Mobile you can still get about 50-60 FPS on high. It is a Snapdragon device with a decent GPU, which means its potential also lies in emulation. Comment below if you're actually interested to seeing that being tested out. I'll make a separate video for that. Finally, the camera. It has a dual camera system which highlights a 200 megapixel main that has a 1.7 aperture, OIS, and PDAF, multi-directional of course. The ultra-wide is 8 megapixels at f2.2, no OIS, and the selfies are taken with a 32 megapixel sensor with a 2.2 aperture. Technically and spec to spec, it may be new sensors, but it performs a little similar to the Note 14 Pro Plus 5G with just a teeny little bit of improvement. This time, the telephoto is called optical level, and Xiaomi is pretty confident that it can deliver hardware level results, which means everything is from the software side. You're shooting day to day. Of course, they're going to be sharp. Colors just are pretty pleasant. The dynamic range wasn't that impressive, and I managed to notice that there seems to be a lot of darker spots than usual in my shots, and it's not just about 200 megapixels. It actually outputs 12.5 megapixel images, which is typical. Night shots are actually quite good though. The detail is quite clean and sharp, the colors are still rendered quite nicely, and the dynamic range seemed to be doing better than daytime, which is weird. At 2 times zoom, it actually did a good job. It didn't stray or degrade too far from the native 1 times zoom range, and everything looks pretty okay until you reach low light or indoor lighting where image quality takes a hit. 4 times, yeah, that's challenging. If you have good lighting and a still subject, maybe you can still get some good photos in there, but they're not too sharp, but they're not too soft either, so they're quite okay, which I also constitute as good enough for social media. Ultra wide, this time they're putting in everything into sharpness. So dynamic range wouldn't be a highlight, and things will look a little darker. It's still good for everyday shots, though something a bit more shot-worthy might need a little bit more effort. There is a charm in trying to try things out and explore your hardware with some effort. I mean, if you have the skills, you can take it to the max. Selfies are doing okay, 32 megapixels, a little bump from the 20 from last year. The dynamic range is a lot better this time, and my skin tone looked quite accurate. The colors, though a little bit more flat, I'd rather choose the better image quality as an option. You have to angle yourself properly though, because this is a fixed focus camera system, there's no OIS. Finally, video quality. Using 4K, everything looks solid, we're getting good dynamic range, and it's consistent with photo mode, and it looks sharp for a phone at this price range. That's a bit more surprising. A notable aspect here is how well stabilization performed when I was just walking around. Good job though, Xiaomi. However, colors, again, a little bit more washed out, especially at night. And that's fairly common for lots of smartphones these days. Nighttime is just a challenge. And I'd say it barely passes my expectations, even if it's already lowered because, once again, the price. In the end, does this actually speak to you though? $16.99 to $18.99 is actually quite a sweet spot of a price for most people in Malaysia, and the Redmi Note 15 Pro Plus 5G, it's in that category, and for me it proved itself to be quite a capable all-rounder and on a budget, but with more on durability. If this is your first Redmi, then I can say that you can definitely depend on this phone for your daily tasks while having some peace of mind that your accident-prone self is not going to be destroying this phone anytime soon. That's all from me, guys. Thank you all for watching. This has been the Redmi Note 15 Pro Plus 5G. I'm Zen the Geek. I'll see you guys in the next video. Boom!